We're joined via Zoom by Melusi Xulu, Managing Director of Donda Attorneys. Melusi, good afternoon. Thank you for your time here on the SABC.
Good morning and good afternoon and good afternoon to the viewers at home.
Thanks for joining us. I know that there's so much information circulating. I can imagine how you got the time frame wrong there, but we're trying to understand the legalities of the case and the question of whether he should be appearing at the same time with Dr. Magudumana, although they face different charges, has come to the fore. Perhaps you can walk us through the charges they face and the rationale of separating the two.
Yes. If you heard the prosecutor when he started, he said he's joining the cases based on Section 157, subsection 1 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Now, this simply means that at any stage before evidence is led, the cases of different accused will be joined together as one case. So, if you're looking at this case, there's a case of escaping. There are people that assisted Mr. Biesta to escape. So they'll all be joined together as one case, amongst other cases which will be clear as we go on. So basically the cases have been joined together for all 5 accused based on the section that I just mentioned.
All right, Melusi, thank you for the clarity. So when we look at the way forward, what would be the way forward from the state? I mean, already he's been serving a life sentence in his prior conviction.
Yes. Well, specifically for Mr. Biesta, his case will continue. The new case will continue in court, but he will continue with his sentence, the one that he was convicted of. So that will continue. But as you heard, they want this case to be postponed to the 16th of May. So whilst the bail application is done for the 4 accused, he'll be waiting. But as for his case or cases that he has been convicted of and sentenced, he will continue with those sentences.
Melusi, earlier today we heard that Thabo raised concerns about safety at the correctional facility, that he's even scared to eat the food that's provided there. What is your take on this? Should the state consider these concerns from him at this point?
Okay, I do not want to be speculating much, but obviously he will have concerns of his safety. I believe it will be based on the fact that I'm of the view, okay, this is an opinion, I'm of the view that there are more people who are implicated in this case, and they could be high-ranking officials. And should their names come up, they will be in big trouble with the law. So he might be afraid that, those people might want to get rid of him. But that's my speculation on why he fears for his life.
Do you think those high-ranking officials will be brought to book if we are going on that opinion or assumption?
If the evidence comes up that they are involved, they will be brought to court, obviously. But we have to look at the evidence first before we are sure of our speculation. So I think that is what we'll have to wait for. The reason why I'm saying this, Lizelle, is because this matter was reported in May 2022, and even in October, and the state was very slow to come up with to arrest anyone that has been involved. So it leaves you with the question whether are there more people involved who are being protected.
Yeah, absolutely. And as investigations perhaps continue, another thing, just before we let you go, Melusi, is that we heard that Bess is requesting for the passport or the documents that was apprehended upon being arrested. What is the logic in this? We have been told that it was fake.
Yes, there's been reports that the passports that they both used, him and Dr. Nandipa, were not original. But even if they were original, we are talking of a person who's been in prison for a number of years, and secondly, he can't even get bail. So the logic is, what will he do with the passport, whether it's fake or original? It does not make sense, because he's a high flight risk. He's a flight risk, but at the same time, he's still in prison. What will he do with the passport? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Melusi, I just want to wrap up this conversation. Early on, we spoke to Professor Yaku about the different departments operating in silos, and perhaps, the loss of information or effective flow of information is then hindered as a result, which has been brought to the fore in the case of Thabo Bester. Whilst they aim to correct it and improve the systems, what's been reflected on that front? What's your take on the gaps and where we need to improve to ensure that justice ensues, but also the safety and security of those within the borders of the country?
Sorry, can you just repeat again? I couldn't hear.
Melusi, I was speaking to Professor Yaku earlier on, and we were just speaking about the departments operating in silos, so much so that there isn't an effective flow of information and communication. This perhaps, questions whether it's effectively aiding the justice system and ensuring the safety and security of those within the South African borders. I just wanted to know your take on some of the lessons that we've learned this time around through this case.
Yeah, I think what is very clear, obviously I will not talk about privatization of departments of the government, but I think what is clear is that, officials can be bought, and that affects the security of our country as a whole. So I think that is one concerning thing. So I think the government needs to look at those concerns in terms of the ethic leadership of our.
Melusi, I believe that our connection is not as steady with you at this point, but we have come to the end of the chat, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you for your time here on the SABC. Melusi Xulu is the Managing Director of Donda Attorneys, weighing in and really just explaining the legalities upon the rearrest of Thabo Bester having appeared in court today.